Build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun of the way shine, shine. Let the sun of the way shine, 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 shine.
Never lose your faith in the brightness of your eyes. Never let the sorrow bring you down. Put a careless smile in your beautiful face. This way is much easier to go. Bright sun will shine. Let Jesus' love warm you up. Live happy your life and never think of giving up. Forget about your problems, enjoy living your life. Open up your heart for love to come inside.
of getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for our new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. It's always good to getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for a new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace.
Wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow your path, Father, 'cause nobody is alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Ooh, ooh. as our Master Jesus taught. Ooh.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start. When the sun turns off the moonlight, we get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, the new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and the new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our Spirit Talk. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetizer water. So, we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. Our meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook and also every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. New class is started September 7th, but you can still join us. The theme for this Saturday will be family. The registration link it will be in the chat and you can contact us with any questions. We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? The gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings. By posting in the chat, you can request it. So please let us know. You are welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibration for incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing energy and strengthen goodwill. So please find the link in our chat. The topic of today's meeting will be Earth Destiny, the cause of earthly miseries, items 6, 7, and 13 to 15 from the chapter 3. There are many dwellings in my Father's house from the Gospel according to Spiritism, which will be facilitated by our brother Rodrigo Villar from Winnipeg. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and they will be addressed at the end of the talk. And now we would like to invite our tonight's speaker, who will also do our opening prayer. Welcome, Rodrigo.
Hi, Marcel. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How
Cannot
is
complain.
how is the weather in Winnipeg?
It's cold as usual. It's
Yeah,
snowing a little bit. Yeah, but that's our usual great Winnipeg with the
you
cold.
you are used to it, right?
Yeah, it's better than Radgom's that's like plus 40,
Oh,
melting. So, so then I prefer the
true.
cold.
Yeah, yeah. For me, the balance is better. Not too cold and not too hot.
Yeah, well, sometimes we cannot have everything that you want. So
Right.
we, we do what we have.
Yeah, but we need to be grateful for everything, right?
That's correct. And that's a
Okay,
great
so
opportunity
yeah.
tonight because the topic we're gonna teach us why we experience what we experience. That's so cool.
Okay, so I'm excited to it. So I'll see you later.
I'll see you. Thank you, Marcel.
Bye.
All right. So everyone, as you familiar with, if watching us more times, if you're a first time, before we start our talk, you always have our opening prayer that we ask protection and inspiration. And now I invite you to close your eyes if you wish, elevating our thoughts to the high, to our Creator, to our Master, to the spiritual friends, our spiritual mentors, and the spiritual mentors of Spiritism Canada, asking for inspiring between us tonight to share these teachings and reflections brought by the spirituality through Kardec that help us to understand and comprehend and invite us for change. Tonight, we'll reflect about the suffering that we have on earth the reasons why, and maybe give us some insights about who is supposed to be following as a model and example. Please help us to continue doing our best to improve ourselves and learn and apply the knowledge in our interactions, in our family, in our professional lives, with our friends, and whatever place we go, that our goodness can overcome our moral vices. We ask your permission to start the study tonight, always asking your blessing and the protection of the good spirits. Please help us to be with you today, tomorrow, and always. So be it. All right, just give 1 second. I'm going to share my slides with you. So I hope you are seeing my screen. Just give me a second. I'm organizing here. There we go. Well, good evening. Welcome to Spiritist Talk. And as Marcella said, today we have a very interesting topic. And it's several items. So 6 to 7 and 13 to 15. 13 to 15. And the spirituality in Kardec invite us to a reflection that was going to deep our understanding about the Earth's destiny, and then give you some insights about the cause of earthly miseries. And my first question to those that are watching us live or on demand: what are the causes of earthly miseries? And I'm going to give you a little bit of time to reflect about it. So Kardec explored this topic, asking the spirits, and they start the item number 6 of this chapter, saying this: the spirits, surprised at finding on earth so much weakness and evil passion, so many miseries and infirmities of every sort, one might come to the conclusion that the human species is very sad thing indeed. If you look at this judgment arises, and the Spirit is giving a warning to us here. If you just look at this piece, we come up with this judgment from that, yeah, really, Earth is based on misery. And then we have to be careful how we feed that point of view, because it always depends what we watch, what we do. If you watch news always share most of the time things that is most negative instead of positive. And this limited point of view of those who hold those points of view give us an erroneous idea of the whole. And the spirits start to make us reflect. When you think about humankind, one must remember that not all of humankind is to be found on the earth, but only a tiny fraction of it. Now, the spirits are inviting us to reflect: are we the only humans in the whole universe? We are the only intelligent beings in the whole universe. And when you look at the universe, I want you to reflect about how many planets, solar systems, stars we have. Even our earthly science cannot answer these questions. We don't know almost nothing about the universe. The hot topic of dark matter. How much do we know about it? We more not known than know. But that snapshot of the beginning, that here is the only place on the entire universe that has intelligence in humankind, is that maybe a possibility to think that we are maybe not the only intelligence. And why is this important? Because Earth is just one planet of billions and billions and billions of planets. And then the spirituality continue instigating us to reflect, saying that actually the human species entails all beings endowed with reason, who populate the innumerable worlds of the universe. So when Jesus said there are many dwellings in my Father's house, Jesus are referring that in the universe there are other human species that use reason, and we are just thinking about the incarnate side. Now we have also the discarnate side. So then we have this realm and the spiritual realm. That's also count because we still humans and we still intelligence. Well, that being said, the spirits is really thinking about, well, the problem that the lens that we are using, it may be not appropriate. We need to understand that this is much bigger. But then people that are in suffering maybe can ask, well, so what? So the problem that we have when we facing any challenges is our perception and what the reality really is. So we think that Earth is the center of the universe, despite we know that is not. But we have this in history to prove to our point that we are always focused us as a center of the universe. So remember in the past when we believed that the sun comes around the earth, and then when was discovered that's the opposite, so some people even get killed because it wasn't accepted. And the spirituality here is really make us to reflect that our perception may be different than reality. And I want to use this picture here to represent. When you see here, this is our perception, and this small tiny dot here that's Earth in the entire universe is their reality. And the spirits ask, what is Earth's population? We have 8 billion in our planet. When compared to the total population of all those worlds combined, we have no idea how to express this in numbers. The spirituality try to make it easier for us to try to compare and have an idea of size. Well, much less than a tiny village when compared to a great empire. Which the spirituality that's saying this. Earth is just a small thing in the entire universe and is not everything about Earth. We're not the only beings that exist. And the material and moral situation of Earth's humankind is according to the evolution of the planet. And why this concept is important? Because everything evolves. This is law of progress. And Kardec explored this law of progress in other chapters. What's this means? What this means is there is a everything evolves, including the universe. So there is those theories, right, that say that universe is expanding, always expanding. So Kardec try here to bring an understanding, a pedagogical strategy to make us to understand in terms of this planetary evolution. If you understand how those are classified, you have an understanding of the situation of that planet. So then you understand the material and the moral situation of the planet. And then you're not going to be surprised to see what we see. We start with ad hoc worlds. So this is really the beginning. And if you remember, we have a lot of documentaries to tell how Earth evolves until we could have life on the planet. So then we move as this planet evolves, and we can relate to that primitive worlds. So then you can think about caveman, so the evolution over time, and then we come to words of trial and expiation. So this is where the mistakes that we did in the past could be fixed. So we have special characteristics and features, and then we move on in this line to regenerative words. That's what the Spirit is telling us, that Earth now is moving towards that direction, but doesn't mean that it's going to happen in a blink of an eye. And then you have this last stage. And remember, this classification is more pedagogical for us to get a sense, because it's really hard to explain to us in the entirety. So then the spirits and Kardec skills is just make more simplistic, less complex, to make us to understand the logic behind. And then you have this purified happy worlds. We know a lot about the ad hoc, the primitive, so the generative and the purified happy words, we have much less of an idea. So that being said, we are in this category. So that's Earth. So let's say we are halfway through this classification, which is good. At least we're not at the beginning. We're not primates anymore. We're evolved. Now we have a lot of things going on. And you see how fast we are evolving, especially our intelligence. So the boom of artificial intelligence. So it's really hard even to predict what the future look like. And if we use that instruments and tools well, and the idea is going to happen is we move forward to generative worlds, so the world will become a better place to live. But remember, it, of course, depends on us. And this is nice. So God is so just and fair that every single soul or spirit in the entire creation has the same start point and the same end point. But not everyone end up at the same time. So the journeys of souls and spirits are individual, and they can do fast or slow, linear or curve, making U-turns or not. And this is called free will. It's our choice. So that's why we have to think when we are talking about suffering. And we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to understand, why do we suffer? We have a reason here. We are in a planet that suffering is normal, that evil overcomes good. So that being said, the planet Earth is a planet of trial and expiation. And this planet has special features. The first feature is about who are the spirits that come to Earth, come to inhabit the Earth. So Earth is a place of exile for spirits who rebel against the law of God. And what law of God we are talking about? The law of love. So every one of us in this planet has a task here. A few of people in this planet are missionary. They come to help us. The biggest majority are people that rebel against law of God. They didn't apply the rules that are designed by the divinity. And then God placed those spirits in a planet where they have to learn to fix the problems they created. And this is called justice. What do we have in this planet? The superior intelligence of a large number of its inhabitants. So remember, this is comparing to the previous uh, scale of Earth. Compared to primitive, whoa, we are way uh, more intelligent. There is no question to ask. And we have way better morals than that time. But the problem is the progress is still under development. We still have a lot of room for improvement. And why is that? Because great moral imperfection still exists. There is still numerous vices that we have to overcome. We still present excessive pride, excessive ego. Sometimes we just self-centered. We just think about ourselves. We don't help anyone. So, and then if you have those features, the one conclusion that you have to come that suffering will be part of this. Why? Because look at the features that it presents. Look at those characteristics. This is characteristic of suffering. However, remember at the beginning that the spirits are telling that it seems like it has only suffering. So the spirits brought, and I'm going to show you with the item number 7, a very interesting analogy for us to think. So they are saying here, one would form a very erroneous idea of the inhabitants of a large city if they were judged by the populace of its infamous or sordid quarters. What they're saying is, let's look at an example in a hospital. If I'm going to a city that I never went to that city before, and then I go straight to the hospital, and I only see sick and made people. And this is the picture that I'm using here to try to symbolize what I'm seeing, what's my first impression. And the problem that we have, when we see that image and we have that first impression, we think that's all. So hospitals are a place that only there's suffering, pain, sick people. And then we do not use our lens to see other things that may be happening under the scenes that you may not perceive because you're so focused on only look for suffering pain. So maybe you missed that interaction because you're not seeing it. You just made up your conclusion based on only a snapshot of experience. And maybe you missed this. And another example the spirits brought to us is like in a prison. If you go to a prison, so then you judge that prisons are places where turpidity and vices is all in that place. Everyone there is bad by nature, is evil. And the question, is that true? 100% of the times. And then the spirits given us another example in unhealthy, they call unhealthy regions. So the language that the spirits and Kardec use in 1850 something. And then what they're telling us, if you go in a place that a lot of unhealthy people are living, you have the impression that everyone is pale, weak, and sick. But is that really the reality? So, and that's what the Spirit is trying to make us to reflect. Just because I have a snapshot of an experience doesn't mean that I understand the whole experience. And they're trying to tell us, yes, Earth is a place where we will suffer because of those features that I showed you before, but also is a great place because there are great people and a lot of great things happening. We just need to change the lens that we looked at things. In the beginning here, when Marceli told us that we have to be grateful for everything that you have, and she's right, we should. And the spirits use this another analogy. So, and just as one leaves the hospital when one has been cured or healed, and the prison when one has served one's time, humans leave the earth for happier worlds when they have been healed of their moral infirmities. It's quite interesting here, the, the concept they are trying to bring to us. Basically, it's a concept of immigration. So the spirits migrate from place to place that are according to what they can give. For example, spirits that come to earth has those features that I showed you before. If you want to go to regenerative worlds, there are other features that the spirits that are in that place, in planets with that characteristic, needs to have other features that belongs more to that location. And that's why we need to keep going and improving yourself and accepting earth as earth it is. We all suffer, we all have challenges, but we have to change the ways that we analyze the experiences. So try to change your lens to look earth as a great school of the soul, the school for our spirits. Remember that in this planet we still incline to numerous vices. And that shows that we still have moral imperfections. And that's why we need to experience this. That's why we still need to experience suffering, because unfortunately, sometimes we learn by love or suffering, and sometimes we choose to suffer. And through pains, challenges, and try to overcome those miseries, those challenges, this pain, those suffering, so you start to build merit. And then you start to feel better that you built persistence, resilience. So you make devices and then you change to become virtues. But it takes time. And the spirits tell us that who have spirits that come to earth and not always need to learn. We have some missionaries that come. And why they come? So they come to help. So spirits who have just left infancy, that's we us, that are on earth, not all of us, but most of us, and who are there for an education. So that's why I like the analogy of the school. They make it so to speak, and to develop themselves through contact with more advanced spirits. That's why you see sometimes on earth some spirits that they are so high elevated. So you notice by the moral, by their conduct, and those inspires us to be better, and that's their mission. And they are very have a special mission, and they are very charitable to come to try to help us to progress. And then we start to understand the mercy of God. We are never abandoned. We are never alone. We just need to develop virtues. I know it's simple, but not easy to do it. That's why we still struggle. And the spirits is still talking to us and telling us they have been relegated to a life for a time among less advanced spirits. They have a mission of helping them to advance. So this picture, it kind of reflects the idea. So if I more evolved, I will not be satisfied if I see all people that I loved left behind. I want to come to rescue them, to help them to progress, help them to succeed. And that's what love is all about. So then the spirits teach us that why this interaction is important, why we have missionaries that needs to come to earth, because they help us to develop the qualities of both heart and intelligence. So control of emotions. And why? Because emotions are feelings. Feelings generate the thoughts, and the thoughts generate attitudes. So if you think deeply, bad feelings, it will lead to bad thoughts and bad attitudes. But the vice versa is also true. If you had good feelings, you'll have good thoughts, you're going to have good attitudes. And that's how God is trying to teach us. In this, the Spirit it continues telling us it is thus that God, in his divine goodness, enables punishment itself to revert to the advantage of the Spirit's progress. So we have a problem with the word punishment. So think about that. The way that we see punishment is different than the way that God sees punishment. Punishment, I think the best word here that we can use for us to understand is opportunity. Because God is giving us the opportunity to improve ourselves, have opportunity to experience different people, to make us better, to develop our virtues and try to reduce our vices, and pushing us towards the progress. Depends on us how much fast or slow we want to go. And the great news that I have to share with you, if you are suffering, if you are in pain, if you are suffering in a war or abuse, or you kind of losing uh, meaning of life, you are not alone. Remember that you never ever be alone. You just need to be calm and patient, and understanding that the planet that we have those challenges, but all of us has the ability to succeed. Let's face this together and help each other, because the good news is it shall pass, because any suffer are eternal. and any mistake can be fixed. Because remember, the law of God is love. However, we made a mess, we need to fix it. The other good news that I have, a great news, we are progressing. So see the green line. So then we're going to move on. It's up to us. However, if we decide to rebel here on earth, we're going to have a mission, maybe in this primitive world, to help that humans to develop, because you be very advanced, I be very advanced there. That means we're going to progress one day on another. Of course, the green line is the dream. So, but if we move up backwards a little bit, so we learn and move on again. You get the push. But the greatest news that we know the end goal, and the end goal is the purified and happy world. So remember that God created us simple and ignorant. Everyone, every spirit that was created start at point here. And then we decide our journey with our free will. And the end goal is the same. We're going to be in this position. So, and that's awesome news. So nothing is eternal. And look at this. We are designed to become perfect spirits. We're going to purify. This process that we see, that planetary evolution, is the evolution of humankind. And as we evolve and get more purified, we're going to end up in a planet with these features. Look at this. And this purified spirits, when we reach that level, we comprehend God and the infinite and enjoy the happiness of the morally upright. Evil almost is no existent. They feel happy. We feel happy. Do good and do not do evil. We hinder evil. We don't feel, we are not proud that we did a mistake. We feel ashamed. So we evolve in that sense. The love that unites the spirits in this planet is a source of ineffable happiness that cannot be affected by envy, remorse, or any other evil passions afflicted imperfect spirits. Look at that place. It's not an awesome goal to have. Can we imagine living a planet like that? Nevertheless, they must continue to undergo through trials until they reach perfection. So that's why Earth is so important for our evolution, because that's the school of our soul, where we are going to perfect ourselves to one day reach this level and live among ourselves, having these characteristics. And you can ask, Rodrigo, okay, so what do you have to tell us? Because we need a model, we need something that can guide us to, because it's not me, because I'm far from perfection. So probably you're going to learn with me more what you should not do it than what you should do it. But if you want to get someone to inspire you, that's my suggestion. So when Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, no one's come to the Father except through me, we need to reflect in the sense, what was the base of Jesus' teachings? He taught us. If you do a summary in one word, you'll be love. Jesus set the example of moral conduct and behavior. Jesus' moral teaching is the way to moral progress, to wisdom, and love. He came us to become our GPS. Every time that you're in suffering and you're in pain, you're desperate, you need help, talk to Jesus. because He'll always gonna help you, because He has a legion of good spirits that also pure spirits that want us to evolve and reach our final destination. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm open for questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for your presentation reflections on this lesson. It's very important to reflect about that, right? Because it's um, everything we do now is going to define what how it's going to be our future life, right? So thank you so much. We do have some questions for you. The first question is from our friend Rodrigo Gomez. He's asking, if Earth's evolution is a spiritual school, how can we move from being distracted students to excelling in kindness and care for each other and the planet? And he's saying, thank you, Rodrigo, for your presentation.
So thank you, Rod Gomez, for your question. It's quite, I have to break it down in small parts. I think the first is what we receive. And that's interesting. That's the topic of the course on Saturday, the Get to Know Spiritism. So everything that God creates is smart. So the family is when we started to train kindness and care. So that's your first small school of life.
Mhm.
Then you start to expand this in having friends. And then we expand your care and kindness, and they become part of your family. So now, if you start growing this, our understanding, at the end, you're going to understand the entire universe is our family because we are part of the entire structure that's called universe that everyone belongs. And that point, we start to learn that everybody is important, everyone matters, and then we should treat everyone with all kindness, respect that they deserve as humans. You're right. We Some of the students are rebels. They have difficulties, but those are also the ones that need the most care.
Yeah.
And if you look around, they receive a lot of support. Sometimes they just don't see it because
Mm.
they are sick.
Yeah.
It's emotional sick, so you cannot see anything other than yourself. Experiences are the way that God decides to guide us through that. So in that way, we will become better students, or by love or by suffering. If you choose to rebel and not be nice. So we're getting to the Christmas time. So there is a song, right? So if Santa is looking if you are naughty or nice. So basically, Santa is a representation of God is watching us, but the being naughty or nice is free will. I choose. I want to be one and another. So we maybe need to be more the nice list than the naughty list. But if we're not the list, we're gonna have experience that try to make us to understand. How about
Let's
if we go
come
to
back.
the good list? Yeah. So how about that?
Thank you. And I have this question for you. Oops. Oops, sorry. I have this question here for you. According to Spiritism, are we responsible for our suffering? Actually, I put this, and then you answer the question. If you wanna like just to emphasize, like how can we avoid this, and what steps can we take to improve ourselves?
Another good questions. So are we responsible for our suffering? I'm sorry to tell everyone that listen to us, yes, we are. Liking or not, you want to admit or not, but if you reflect deep inside, let's think about just this life, because you don't, let's say you don't remember the previous life, just this one. How many times the suffering that you having is was choice that you made in the past? And sometimes what we call suffering is a blessing,
Yeah.
because sometimes you don't have it. The problem that we behave like babies and throw a tantrum. I want now the way that I want. It's my way or no way. So, but the life is not that way. So things happen in the way that is for us to learn. And that's one thing. So yes, we suffer or not. It's up to us. How can we avoid this? Think about in think about the suffering that you have, the cause, and try to understand how I can avoid this. For example, helping people is great place to start. Do charity, help others. Are you having a lot of problems? So maybe if you help others, you're gonna see that your problem is not as big as you imagined.
Yeah.
Then the people has as many problems as you, and then maybe you just spend a little bit time just think about yourself 100% of the time, just 90. The other 10, you're thinking about others, and maybe you like the feeling, and then you start making this part of your life. That's why we have in our symbol charity is the way.
Yeah.
So what step can we take to improve? So start small, know yourself. I don't have a recipe. You know what struggle you're facing. Try to,
Study, go to go to the our course, get to know to spiritism.
yeah, you study, get more wisdom, intelligence, and then love. Then simple recipe, very hard to do it.
Yeah. And for to end, it's not a question, but it's a comment from our brother Rodrigo Farias. He is putting a question from the Spiritist book.
The famous 625.
Yes. What is the perfect standard that God has offered to humankind as a guiding model? Look at Jesus. Jesus, you brought this to us, right? So just to emphasize what you just said. And
And, and you see how short is the answer?
right. It doesn't need to speak a lot. That's it.
Look
Right?
at Jesus. Look at what is the example?
That's
And
it.
even if you don't like Jesus or not, just try to not be biased. Just read.
Mm-hmm.
Just read and see the moral behind. So forget
Exactly.
if that was Jesus. Imagine that was someone else other than Jesus saying. If you see that moral teaching is 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 making you better, is making things better. So that's I think sometimes we stuck too much on what we did as a humans
Yeah.
and try to blame others for,
Our faults, right? Our
yeah,
mistakes.
there is no way that you can, if you really don't have any bias and try. I have my bias because I think Jesus is really the spirits told us, thought this is your standard, and it's nice that they show this is how you become. And Jesus said to us, you can do everything that I did and much more. He's showing that it doesn't end on me, you have way more. But now is not the time for you to understand. But just look at me. You can be. Can you imagine if we can be a little bit in some parts of your day, just as likely like Jesus? Just as likely, not that much, just as likely.
Yeah, it would be great.
But if we don't dream, we're never gonna become.
Yes, for
If we
sure.
have the seed of God on us, We have goodness inside us. How we make a plant to grow? Feed,
Taking
oil,
care.
water, sun. That's our soul, our spirit. Nourish our spirit. That's what we're trying to do here with
Mhm.
everything that we offer. So this Spiritism talks. So then we do charity. We do the studies on Saturdays. We are trying. We are trying. Is that the best we can do? Not to me to answer. You know what's your best.
Yeah.
So I know what's my best. And that's where I can. This is my commitment to myself, to my improvement, and I always have Jesus as my guide. So one day I hope I can do 0.000000001% that Jesus did.
Mhm. But at least we're trying, right?
That's the only thing I can do.
Gabriel wants to talk something.
Thank
Okay,
you
thank
very
you so
much.
much. Have a good night. Bye bye. And thank you for your participation in this chat. We will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Fasts help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with helping positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the fast, the water set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that you and your family can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the Pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So I invite everyone to close your eyes if you wish and feel comfortable. Elevate our thoughts, think in God, and say thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here. One more Tuesday, willing to learn more about the Jesus doctrine, Spiritism. Thank you for the talk, the tonight's talk, for everything our brother Rodrigo brought to us. May we can reflect about everything that we are doing in this life so we can realize what can we can improve in ourselves in order to get better, to be better people, and to go to have a better life in our future life. Thank you for your love, your protection, and the things you do for us. We would like to ask to protect us, our families, our friends, all the names who are on the vibration list, all the people who are suffering now, and everyone in this planet. Please, God, help us to transform ourselves in better human beings. May the good spirits protect us during this treatment and during this night. And we would like to thank you again for everything you have done for us. And please, God, stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, Breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. And don't forget to follow us like Spiritism Canada on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and the Spiritist group Path of the Light on Facebook as well. Have a good night.
Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold night, support and comfort children of earth, with love in their heart, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. For my mother's offering, a harvest of wonderful blessings. Make you, small son, a good Christian. Make you, small son,